Welcome back to another episode of The Donkey and the Bee with your host, the Jackass and the Biatch over here, where we talk all things marriage, entrepreneurship, and finances.
All right. Well, today we are talking about stress in your life and growing past stress in your life. You know what? We have a lot of stress in our life. There's been seasons of ups and downs. Right now, we're in a very stressful season with business and all these different things, man. And I think that's fantastic. It is an opportunity for growth, and I for sure see it that way because we'll plateau, we'll hit this accomplishment, and then it'll chill out, and we'll be at a season where we're chilling, and it's good. So I really enjoy the challenge on these hard seasons in life.
I think a lot of individuals have an outlook on stress. They negate it in a way and look at it as something they don't want in their life. How can I get stress out of my life? How can I be stress-free? Because they're having the opposite outlook that we have on stress. I think when we have stress in our life, I think stress is a good thing to have. I think that it's beneficial for your growth. And so we look at it that way, and we kind of encourage it in a way. Like we like, bring it on, stress. Like, okay, it's good for us.
Yeah.
We don't see it as like a health problem. It's definitely a positive, something that we strive for in our life.
Well, I think that a lot of times people have this funny feeling like, oh, like this is too hard. Oh, it's God telling me not to do this way, right? Like that's such BS, right? You're made, and you see challenges, you see stress in life. You're made to go towards that, right? Like that stress is there to prepare you for battle, right? It is there to wake you up, give you that adrenaline, let you know like it's not time to la-di-da. Like if you have a challenge in business, a challenge in life, a challenge in relationships, that's not something that is don't go that way, right? That way is your growth. That's the way you're supposed to go. That stress is there to wake you up and say, hey, it's time to get our butt in gear and let's hit this wall in front of us. Let's knock it down. Let's push past it, because our growth, our best version of ourselves, our dreams are on the other side of that wall past the stress. And so I look forward to it. It's like, all right, let's go, right? I'm going to kick your butt.
It reminds me, me and analogies, I'm sorry. It reminds me of the hunter-gatherer back in the day, right? Like they were stressed for food, right? They had to find food. And if they were so stressed out of the boar or whatever animal they were trying to find and kill, they wouldn't eat. They wouldn't survive. So they had to face their stress, get out there. Their body was preparing them for battle to kill so that their family could eat and survive. And so I think of it like that. It's kind of a battle. Like you just said, your body's preparing you for it. The adrenaline rush, whatever's going through your mind, your gut, it kind of all syncs together. And it's something that it's kind of like a natural rush. I don't want to say natural high. It's a natural rush.
Yeah. I would say stress is a good thing, right? It's something that is telling you are on the right track. So push towards that. But once you have identified your goals and you've overcome that challenge, now when you do that thing again, it's less stressful. And after you do it multiple times, it's like, oh, well, you know what? That's not a big deal at all anymore, right? Like that's not a problem. This used to be a huge barrier, right? This used to be something that was something I could not overcome. But now that I've overcome this multiple times, I don't even consider this a stress anymore. I don't consider this a problem. But now I've actually grown myself. And I think that's where we're trying to talk about here today, that stress equals the opportunity, the challenge to grow yourself in business, in life, in maturity. And then now you have new challenges. You have new stress that's honestly way bigger than the previous one was before. But you have grown yourself. So now that way bigger stress or challenge is equivalently roughly the same. But when you turn around, you look at the stresses that used to overwhelm you, you're like, that's not even an issue anymore. That's baby stuff, right? Like I can do that stuff in my sleep now. You've grown past it. And I think stress is the important part of this. That is the key ingredient to you becoming who God made you to be.
Mm-hmm. So stress, when people think about it in like maybe different categories, could be financial, it could be your business, it could be your work, it could be your family or relationships. So I'm going to give an example about stress and how it can be a lot easier to achieve certain things once you practice them. When we first got married, I was probably not the best communicator, and I'm still not the best communicator when it comes to this kind of things. But I think that I personally was stressed out to have conversations with you about finances and about business and about certain things. Like I was stressed out about it because I didn't know how to communicate effectively. And I think because we've discussed things so many times, we've communicated with each other so many times, it's not a stressful thing anymore because we've done it so often. And I think couples can come into a relationship and they don't have that foundation of being open with their communication, and they're just quiet about it, and it becomes a stressful thing. And so, I'm stressed out about it, I'm nervous, I'm just not going to say anything. And it becomes this almost shut door in their life that they don't want to open. Same thing with financial, or even with your job. Your job can be super stressful, and maybe you're not talking to anybody about it. Maybe your spouse doesn't want to hear it anymore, or your friends are over you saying how much you hate your job, or maybe your business. Maybe you're starting this business and it's super stressful, and you don't know, like you're just not communicating or talking to anybody about it. And so I think once you get on that habit, I think it's easy to get better at it. And again, the stress level goes down because you've done it so many times that it just comes natural.
Yeah. When we first started our first business, house flipping, man, we were so scared, so nervous about this stuff. And I remember the first house we flipped, there was so much stress, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was this mountain in our minds of what this was going to be like hiring the contractor and getting our numbers right and selling it. And you fast forward, right? It was maybe 5 years after that, right? We had systematized, scaled our company to a place where we were buying, maybe 2 to 4 houses a month, and I wasn't even seeing them anymore. Like we were just buying it. Like I would get a video of like, hey, here's the house, everything. I'm like, okay, cool. Like our team would walk through it, and I would never even see the house anymore. Our team would do everything, and it was like, hey, you know what? It's just another house. We moved halfway across the country, and we didn't close down our business, right? We just kept buying more houses. I never went and saw them. I actually have not been back to Bakersfield. What's it been, 5 years now, right? We still have all those houses there. I've not been back to see any of those. And if you would have told me at the beginning where I saw this massive issue, this problem, the stressful thing about my first investment and buying it and how am I going to get the contractor and the funds and the finances, that kind of stuff is stuff that I laugh about now. It's like just the tiniest little baby sized thing. And I think it's interesting if you can ask your future self, right? If you have grown 3-4 levels and then you talk to that version of yourself, hey, what do you think about the current situation I'm in? Your future self, who has grown multiple times by then, will be like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, that's nothing. That is a baby something to worry about. Like, you are doing so much bigger deals now, right? Like, you are way more strong and valuable than that little problem in your life, right? So I guess my encouragement would be that you shouldn't let these little things stop you from taking action. They're little things, or they may be big things to you now, but you know what? Once you push past them, and if you talk to your future version of yourself, he's gonna be like, that's nothing, man. You are way stronger. You are way better than that. And you just need to figure it out, because you will figure it out. You will grow past these things.
So Brett mentioned that we're in a stressful season in our life right now because we're growing our assisted living company, and this other company that we're doing where we partner with other individuals to start their assisted living. So we're scaling and growing both companies, and there's certain times where emotionally I might get a little over the top, because you think about it too much and you're dwelling on things that are more negative than positive. And I've been doing this thing in my mind lately for myself. It's like my own game, I guess, in my mind, where if I get super stressed out about this, I'm like, okay, if Elon Musk can start Tesla and Starlink and all these other businesses that he has, and he's good, he's still like, okay, I'm like, I can scale and grow these two companies that are way smaller than his company. And then I'm like, I think I'm good. It's like a perspective shift for me. I think sometimes when you get in your own stress, your perspective is only in your own little world, and you're not looking up and out toward people who are doing bigger things than you are. And so it's almost like a gut and mind check for myself, just to compare to someone like Elon Musk, like, hey, he's having way more stress than I am right now. I think I'm going to be okay. So then it honestly helps me to get level-headed again and not be so in my head about the growth and expansion of our businesses.
So for those of you that have had this dream of your first investment property or starting your first business or scaling your company, but you're scared and you see this big problem in front of you, you're like, I don't know how to solve it. That's totally okay. Every single person starts there, right? We started there. The most successful people start there. But they don't let fear, they don't let these stress, these problems in front of them stop them. Just know that you will, if you persist, you will knock it down. You will get past that barrier. You will find success, even though you might fail 1 or 99 times. By the time you hit 100 times, 100 attempts, you will for sure have succeeded. So just know that you can get there. And then once you fast forward 5 or 10 years in the future and you look back at these things, these are baby-sized problems. You will look back and be like, that's nothing, right? You should see the problems I'm dealing with now. This is big problems, right? These, but huge opportunities, right? I mean, with the size of the deals and the income we were getting when we first started are, gosh, I don't know, like 1/50th of what they are now, right? And it's the same amount of stress and pressure on us to make 50 times the profit than what we started when we first got started, right? Like it was actually probably more scary when we first got started with these tiny little baby deals because we didn't have
the skills,
the maturity, we haven't grown. So just know that everyone starts in the same spot and you will push past and keep chasing after your goals and do not let stress or problems tell you that this is the wrong path. Right? That is not God telling you, oh, this is the wrong way to go. No, for sure pray about it, ask for counsel, but you know what? God intended you to grow and hit challenges and push past those things.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Donkey and the Bee, and we will see you on the next one.